Mayhem. This is our channel all about board games.
And more board games.
In today's video, we are doing our top 10 games of 2022.
These games are in or about 2022. I couldn't exactly be 100% with which ones that were like in December of 2021. It was really hard to find out when it actually got... What the hell, cat? When they actually got released. Here you go, mate. Thank you. When they actually got released. But yeah, these are about 2022. These are most of them.
You didn't tell me that when you sent me the list. So this could be fraudulent. This could be a fraud top 10 board games of 2022.
It's a board game channel. It's not the news.
So...
Which is not honest anyway.
That's also fraudulent.
Yeah, we're about as honest as the news. Yeah, but these are our best games of 2022 that we've played this year, that sort of came out this year, or the very, very end of last year.
Okay.
So yeah,
Jason sent me the list, so if anything's wrong, blame him.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, do you want to go first?
Yeah, okay,
go on first. I'm intrigued to hear this list.
So actually, as are you, whenever we do list videos, we don't know each other's lists. We've both done 10 each.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by your list.
So, yeah,
I'm intrigued.
My number 10 is Splendour Duel.
Wow.
Which I know that is definitely a 2022 release.
Yeah,
it's only released a couple of months ago or last month.
4 weeks ago.
But yeah, we Splendour on its own, just the normal Splendour, is one of my favourite games. I love that game. And Splendour Duel, I feel like it needed to be in there because it's like a good version. I think
they've done well with it.
As a duel, there's
we were intrigued, weren't we? Because we treat Splendour as a 2-player game anyway.
Yeah.
So I was intrigued at what they would do and how it would be any different, and I didn't really understand why they'd made a 2-player game, but I was pleasantly surprised. I really like it. There's like a more of a puzzle when picking up the gem chips. Like instead of just picking it up, you have to actually you can only pick them up in a row on a sort of set board, and there's 3 different ways to win instead of just one, and yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I also think like it's in a really small compact
tiny
box, which is really good because whenever we go on holiday and we think that what games could we take, Splendour's always one that we wish we could take because the actual
it's a small game, but it's
would be perfect for taking away with you, but the box is just too big for the suitcase and stuff. But the Splendour Duel,
Splendour's tiny box, really, really good actually. Yeah, it's not on my list, but yeah, really good. I'm intrigued. Splendour Duel, number 10.
Yeah, that's my number 10.
My number 10 is Cactus Town.
Okay.
We first got this game, it was in the small box version, and we loved it. It's like an asymmetric, I don't know what you'd describe it as, like an asymmetric battle-ish game. Each of you picks a different faction. You could be like cowboys, robbers, can girl, and each of you has your own sort of win conditions, and you're all trying to achieve that at the same time.
The actual game mechanism is programming.
Oh, it is programming, yeah. So you program your sort of moves first. So you can, like, as the bank robber, at the start of the game, you're given 3 buildings that you have to try and reveal and rob. And as the sheriff, you're trying to stop the robbers and arrest them and put them in jail. And you're just doing that. You're sort of battling each other in a programming sort of way. It's just super fun. So much so we bought the Kickstarter edition.
Yeah.
Which is like a big massive box, and it has minis
and
player mat and everything. And yeah, just really, we've always had fun with this game. It's always really tight, like always 1 or 2 moves away. And yeah, just really, really fun. Really, really tight game. Amazing game. It's sort of under the radar as well. I find it a bit of a hidden gem. I don't really hear many people talk about it.
No, I haven't.
It's such a really, really good game. So my number 10 was Cactus Town.
Yeah. You've got stencil
stuff everywhere. I do apologise. Aaron told me this already.
I was looking
I've been at work today, so I'm covered in stencil paper. I know. Stencil stuff.
Yeah.
I've been told.
Well, I just thought I'd bring it on.
Just bring it up while we're on camera.
I'll just tell you, yeah.
You didn't know before, so
I didn't notice it
wash my face before we started filming.
Until you were sitting right there, and I was thinking,
it's fine.
You've got a black mark on your face.
Yeah, no, it's just stencil. My hands are covered in it.
There we go. So my number
9.
My number 9 is Return to Dark Tower.
My number 9 is Return to Dark Tower.
I knew it would be in your top 10, but how did we get it on the right?
Number 9.
The same space. Yeah. Why was it your number 9?
We're not really co-op fans. I found we liked The Initiative, which was like a puzzle co-op game.
I like Stardew Valley.
Yeah, but
That
I don't
could
think
be
we're
a lot of the theming.
yeah, I don't think we're huge co-op fans. Like we never go lean towards
we
that.
prefer to battle against each other.
And this game was in our collection for ages, sat on the shelf of shame, and I nearly sold it without even opening it out of the cling.
It was still sealed. Yeah,
Still sealed. And then we said, we'll try it out, and then we'll decide if we sell it or not. And we loved it.
Yeah.
And
really
I loved it. And I've played this with my friends and taken them, they all loved it. It's just so good. It's so atmospheric. And we're also against app-driven games. We're not really a fan of bringing technology into board gaming.
Yeah.
So it was co-op and app-driven.
And we did try another app game before, which was the Chronicle of Crime, and we didn't like that game, so we was a bit off.
But this is amazing. The app is so well integrated where it doesn't really affect anything. It's just there to sort of help you on to your next bit. The main bit is the board game bit, and you just press that for sort of it's really. It's
a bit like story mode, isn't it?
Yeah,
that bit.
Yeah, and that's just brilliant. It adds like there's a little soundtrack, soundtrack, and the tower is amazing, and it's just all so good, and it's really tight, and the last few turns are really exciting because it's all done in months, and if you don't do it by the 6th month, you lose, and you get if you first complete your first mission, you make the main boss come out, and you've got to try and battle him, and it was just really, really epic, and it felt amazing. And yeah, well, I've really loved it. It was one of my favourite games of this year. One of my favourite gaming moments of this year.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
I really enjoyed that game as well, which surprises me. That
yeah, because it's very fantasy. It's very Dungeons and Dragons-y, like.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that game, and I'd like to play more games that are similar to that.
I don't think there is.
To that sort of
I just don't think there is anything like that. I'd like to try more co-op, I think, now because of that.
Yeah.
But that is just, I think, just with the whole tower, and it runs off this skull basis, so you put skulls in the top every turn, and then you don't, sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't, and it twists and turns, and they randomly spit out, and it's just really good.
And there is some like demons that you have to beat, like it's hard.
Yeah,
it's
hard,
really hard to do. It's
hard.
not like it's easy. It's not an easy.
Yeah, no. When you fight some of the bosses, like you're losing. It's all based on like you gain soldiers, and basically that's what you're fighting people with. But some of them, like you need to discard 40 soldiers.
Yeah,
it's quite hard to get them.
Yeah, it's not a hard game really to play and learn, but it's hard to actually defeat and to win. So
and it's just really good. And I played with 2 people who'd never played games before, and my friend literally messaged and was like, "Can you get me a copy?" Like he wanted it. He'd never even played a board game before because it was so good. And I think if you're a video game player, that's a good start because it's so sort of. I think it's a good little merge of both. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
That was both our number 9.
Okay, so
your number 8.
My number 8 is Tenpenny Parks.
Oh.
Which
that's a
you said it's a 2022
shock. That
release.
Is. That's a shock. That is. Yeah.
What? That is that live, or that it's in there? Why is it shocking?
Just a shock.
I enjoy Tenpenny Parks.
Good.
I've always wanted a theme park style game, and there's so many different ones, but we went with this one.
Because worker placement.
Because it's worker placement, and that is my favourite.
And polyomino, which is we both enjoy really as well. So.
Like my favourite mechanism of the game. But I really enjoy that game. You basically are building your own theme park, and you've got to get like the best thrill, the best like your customers got to be happy. What is it?
Thrill. Oh God. Thrill. Happiness.
No. Joy. Thrill, joy, and what's the other one?
Yeah, so you've basically got 3 tracks you're trying to get up with different things, and each different sort of theme park attraction does a different sort of thing. And
the rides are, like you said, it's polyomino tiles, so the rides are like Tetris shaped, and you've got to fit them in and fit them in right.
There's really cool tree mechanics. So when you start the board, your tree is your like your bit of land has got trees on it and stuff, and you have to choose to chop them down, and then you can lay more stuff out. But then that's obviously a waste of a turn, but also. You get end game bonus cards, and a few of them are like, don't chop any trees down. So you got to try and balance your park around. It's really good fun. It is really good. It's really simple. We thought my brother's played this.
Yeah,
he's never played that game. He really enjoyed it. It's a really good worker placement and polyomino. If you want to sort of get someone into both without choosing 2 different games, that's a really good start.
Yeah.
And theme's really good. I like the little things are really cool because you get little bonuses if you're the top of them as you go along. Yeah, you've got
to try and get them to like a certain level. And
it's one of those games where it sort of ends and I wish we could play more.
Yeah.
It's one of the games that end for me and I'm like, I could play some more turns. Like, that's how good it is. I really enjoy it. So, but it's not on my list.
Yeah.
So that was your number?
That was my number 8.
8. My number 8 is the Guild of Merchant Explorers.
I'm shocked that is so far down.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that game. It's a really good game.
Yeah, you love that game, so why is it number 8?
Because there's so many other good games we played this year. So many other
I'm
good
starting
games.
to think, lists aren't going to be that
No?
interesting.
Right, the Guild of Merchant Explorers is a game by AEG, who's one of our favourite game makers anyway. Basically you're just, we first got this game because it looks like a kids game we've got called Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, but basically you get your own little maps and you're trying to explore these little maps with little cubes, and you're trying to get points for like making towers and villages, and you're trying to complete objectives, and each time the same tiles get drawn, like the movement tiles, so you get like 3 water in a straight line, 2 desert and a sand.
Yeah.
But then you also gain your own private ones each round.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really simple game. Really,
it's a
really
very,
good.
very tight game.
Very tight,
and
yeah.
it can really screw you over.
We only have like
depending-
5 turns.
Yeah.
And it's tight.
And it can really screw you over, like when they get pulled
Yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah.
because you'll be planning like, okay, I'm going to
You're
go
just
to
about to
that
cross the sea,
tower,
and then no
and then
sea
nothing
gets
comes
drawn.
out,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh no. And you also, if you can set your route and put a city down on another island, you can start from that
there
city
the next round.
for the next round. So you can sort of try and gauge it, so you can do it in a couple of turns.
Which is important, but it's only
a
tight
couple
because
of
you only get like
rounds.
5 or 6 rounds, so
Yeah.
it's really, really tight. We played this with a load of the guys from the Board Game Cafe, and they said something that I agree with. It would work really well as a flip and write.
Yeah.
Like if you just had little different maps, you could just flip a card, write, you map out, draw, crosses.
Yeah.
But no, really good. The components are lovely. It's really, really sort of like Castle Burgundy colourish. It's very beige and stuff, but it's quite nice. It's really nice. The map's really nice. There's loads of tiny little hidden details in the map if you look at them carefully. It's a really nice game. Really simple,
it's
really
really
cool.
nice.
I would play that sort of everyday game for me.
Yeah.
That's a quick one to warm up. Sort
Well,
of thing.
when you sent me over the list of all the games from 2022 and I had to pick them out, I was like, oh, I haven't played that game for ages,
Yeah, I
and
know.
now I really want to play it.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
do enjoy that game.
And that's my number 8, the Guild of Merchant Explorers.
Okay, my number 7 is Monsters on Board.
My number 7's Monsters on Board. No way.
Yeah.
How? Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
This is a game we really got for the kids, but it's something I would definitely play on my own, like just us
Oh,
as well. Like
I've taken this to the Board Game Cafe, played it with it.
it's a really fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can explain what it does.
It's a dice drafting game. It's a dice drafting game. So basically you're playing these monsters and you're about to throw a Halloween party and you're trying to collect spook juice by sending out your little grunts into the local town to scare humans. And yeah, it's just really, really cool. Like you're drafting dice, everyone's passing dice around drafting them, but it's a huge puzzle. Like it's hard to explain because you've got the grunt map where you're sending them around to gain little sort of extras and trying to move them around the map, and you get victory points for them. But then you're also trying to collect the colour of the dice is to put into like a little puzzle board that you can make little end game bonuses with. But then you're also looking for the symbols on the dice and the numbers on the dice. And yeah, you're moving loads of bits. There's little tracks that you're moving along underneath that bit, and there's little grunts moving around that area. There's just loads and loads of stuff going on and loads of puzzles. And yeah, it's just amazing. And the theme is really fun. It's very Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
It's just really, really fun. It's all bright coloured little minis and monsters and ghouls and
But we do have the
Kickstarter
version,
edition.
so that
Yeah,
might
it's
not be
really,
what's in the
really.
base.
Yeah, I think the base is just cardboard stuff. But yeah, it's really, really good. Like it was one of my shining things. I wanted it for ages and it was really hard to get hold of. And it was one of the ones I was like, this is
'Cause we did
amazing.
have it
I
on
want to play
pre-order.
that now.
We did have it on pre-order, but it fell through, didn't it?
Yeah,
So,
we won't mention that.
yeah. So then we managed to grab
I
a
won't mention
copy.
that, but yeah,
Grab
I got
a
a copy in
copy.
the end, and yeah, it's just brilliant, brilliant. I took it to the local board game I told you and played with people, and everyone was really impressed with it, and yeah, good. So that's both our number 7.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So
We're too linked.
my number 6
Don't say it.
is the Guild of Merchant
Oh,
Explorer. So
Oh wow, okay.
that was my number 6.
Yeah,
Obviously we already spoke about
Yeah,
that
there's
game,
not
so
much
it
to
was your number
explain.
8.
but yeah, it's good.
But yeah, I really like that game.
It's a good game.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a good game.
My number 6 is Pagan: Fate of Roanoke.
Oh, I didn't make it in my list.
Excuse me?
Didn't make it.
What do you mean didn't make it in your list?
Just make it.
It's the best 2-player game we've ever played.
This isn't a 2-player game list. It's best of 2022. Didn't make it in there.
Pagan: Fate of Roanoke is amazing. It's probably the biggest 2-player game we own because a lot of 2-player games are sort of small.
Yeah.
This is solely 2-player. Solely 2-player games are usually quite small, but this is like an hour and a half game.
Yeah.
It's quite big.
Well, it depends. It depends how.
It depends how rubbish you are, yeah. But
yeah.
one of you plays a witch, one of you plays a witch hunter, and the witch is trying to complete a spell and win, and the witch hunter is trying to kill the real witch by the end of the game. And basically, you line up 13 or 12 villagers in the middle, and the witch will know who is the real witch. And they're sort of you're playing cards. The main bit of the game is playing cards. And yeah, you're just trying to sort of put clue tokens on certain ones, and the witch to complete her spell, she needs to put a certain amount of tokens on the real witch, but without giving it away.
Yeah.
And then the witch hunter is trying to do the same thing and try and hunt down the real one.
Yeah.
It's just really fun. It's always really intense.
It's really hard to balance, like evening out your tokens, but also trying to
trick the other person and
keep it hidden. And also because when whoever's playing the witch hunter, if they get a certain amount of things, they get to pick from like the actual deck of all the witches that aren't the witch that you're playing. Like you could be sitting there wasting your turns to try and make it like, oh look, this is the real witch that I'm trying to get that one. And they could pull it out, and you don't know they've pulled it out, so they could just be sitting there knowing that you're wasting your time, putting it on this one, trying to convince them that this is the witch.
And a lot of bluffing games and stuff like that don't work at 2-player. Like a lot of games like One Night Werewolf and stuff like that, they don't really work. So this is such a good job of making it really work, and it's probably the only bluffing game at 2-player that we've ever got. And we got rid of 2 huge 2-player games, Star Wars Rebellion and Twilight Struggle, just because they were like 5-hour games. We don't have 5 hours usually.
Yeah.
So it was nice to get a big 2-player game, and that's why it was one of my favourites. It's just a really, really good game.
Yeah.
We took us on holiday with us, played this.
Yeah.
You cheated.
I didn't cheat. I won.
You cheated.
Every time I win, Jason likes to say I cheated.
And that is my number 6, Pagan, Fate of Roanoke.
Okay. My number 5 is Bitoku.
Wow.
Why is that a wow?
Wow. I just didn't expect that to be in there.
I really enjoyed that game.
I really enjoyed that game.
I think we played it once, didn't we?
I loved it.
Didn't get it.
No, we loved it. Then we played it with our friends and they didn't have a clue what was going on.
I think they won.
How did they have a clue? And I sat there like not having a clue what was going on.
Yeah, but she still won, I think.
No, she didn't.
She beat
Chris
me,
won.
I think. Yeah, and then she comes second.
No, I hope not. She come last in the end.
I think she did. Yeah, I remember playing this one time and being like, right, or maybe it was just we were running through it. And
we were running through it because
I don't know about this.
It's the busiest board in the world. There's so much going on and so much colour. But when you break it down, it's actually quite a simple game. Yeah, it's amazing. The only issue with this game is massive.
Yeah.
Like a massive table hog.
But we haven't tried to play it since we've got our new table.
No, which would be perfect.
This would be the perfect size.
Yeah, again, mechanically, what is it mechanically?
It's a little bit worker placement-y.
Yeah, it's a little bit worker placement. You're placing people around sort of things.
Yeah.
You're trying to... a lot of it's on your board, so you've got like a board and you're trying to sort of like, you roll dice and you're trying to move dice to certain up and down, unlock dice to then do actions and play cards.
Yeah, and
mostly play cards.
You're playing cards and you're trying to like match the like gem cards and stuff.
Yeah, but there's like 15 different things to score. Because there's like tracks where you're moving your little monk around, and then there's tracks on your thing, and then there's tracks on the bottom thing, and then you're collecting little stones and. There's loads of bits going on, but it's got an awesome Japanese theme. It's like all Japanese gods and stuff. It's really, really cool. Component-wise, it's beautiful. Like for a base game, not Kickstarter, component-wise, it's stunning.
Yeah, it's really good. Enjoy it.
Yeah, that didn't make my list.
No? That surprises me.
That does surprise me now.
Yeah.
That was your number 5. My number 5 is Wonderland's War. It's hidden. Wonderland's War is my number 5. Wonderland's War. I'm a huge fan of Quacks. Quacks of Quedlinburg, and Wonderland's War is just like a big boys Quacks. It's got like, it's a bit of Quacks bag building, and then it's got area control. It's really, really good. We need to get it out. We didn't play it for ages because our table was too small. Because that again is massive.
Yeah. This didn't make my list because I didn't really remember it. I remember the board and what it looks like, but I don't actually remember like the gameplay as such. So I thought, I can't put that in the list.
It's just very small. I don't know, we're married. Well, yeah, one of those, it's Alice in Wonderland's theme, obviously. It's really good as well. Component-wise, again, we've got a Kickstarter, and it's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful games we've got. It's just a bag builder, but it's really, really fun because the area control bit's really fun because you're building your bag and you're basically trying to defend each area against each other. So you keep drawing coins and you're losing your minions from each of the area control bits. But then you don't want to use all of your bag up for this one bit, because you've got another 6 or 7 areas to try and defend, and that was a really fun mechanic because you'd get to the end and think, oh man, I've defended all the others really badly and I've just let you win this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really, really good fun. There's not much to say about it, it's just really good. Yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of Quacks and you want something more, it's the perfect game for that. The perfect game to up your Quacks up. And that was my number 5.
My number 4 is Planet Unknown.
4.
Yeah.
4.
That's good.
4.
So it's your number 1 or something then?
No, it's not my number 1.
So that is my number 4.
Yeah.
Planet Unknown is like a polyomino
Just a polyomino game.
game.
Yep,
and
as simple as that. Best polyomino game out there.
yeah,
Easily. I thought
such a good game.
Isle of Cats was good, but this makes Isle of Cats look amateur.
Yeah.
It's good, so good. You get like a little map, and you get these little like tracks of like little different cubes, and you're just trying to lay tiles on your map, and you're up in these tracks. But you can like do loads of combos by setting stuff off. You get a little moon buggy that sort of goes around, and you can pick up
that
meteors,
like, wipes out meteors
because you score on every sort of completed row and column. But if you have a meteor in that row, it blocks it. So you can have like a really good score and it blocks it. So
yeah, you play in like. It's like you're in space, isn't it?
Different planets.
And you're building like your own planet.
Yeah.
And there'll be like grass tiles, water tiles, and then the track, or there's a water track, a grass track.
Yeah.
And every time you place like a green tile down, you could then get to up your
Yeah,
track,
you
and
get
then up in your track you
bonuses, and you get victory points off of that, and then some of them let you up other tracks, so you're trying to do combos.
You also get like end of game objective cards, so you're trying to
have the most sort of separate waters and have the most outside edges.
Then there's like, you get your private ones, you also get the ones that you're both working towards.
Yeah, and then you also get, one of the tracks lets you get like little other cards that give you really cool bonuses. Yeah, it's just a really, really good game, really fun game. You get this awesome Lazy Susan in the middle that you twist around, has all the polyomino tiles.
Yeah, and I think that highlights the game, like, that might be one of the reasons which made me love it so much, is because of
the spinning Lazy Susan.
The spinning thing, it just makes the game like.
It's just really good.
I think if you had them just laid out in front of you,
it wouldn't be as cool.
It wouldn't be as good.
No, I don't think so. The gimmick has paid off.
Yeah, that.
A lot of board game
gimmicks. Idea. The cat's back. A lot of the board game gimmicks are not always. We're not always full for them, but this one, I think every game should have a Lazy Susan. Do you want to know? Yeah, it's. But there's just the added touch.
It's good.
It's really
and
good.
It makes it in a 2-player game. It's not that useful because you only click one. You turn once in a 2-player game. But yeah, when we played it in 3-player games and 4-player games, you get to move it around, so you get to choose, and other people you can be like, they really want one and they think it's coming, but it's not, and that's really, really good. But no, yeah, it's amazing game.
Yeah, really.
That was your number 4.
That was my number 4.
My number 4 is Space Station Phoenix.
Yeah.
Where's mine? This game, I literally only picked it up because it has our daughter's name in the title. I knew nothing about it, and it looks quite ugly, in all honesty, on the outside.
Yeah, the box definitely.
It's disgusting.
You shouldn't judge a board game by its cover.
No. It's an ugly game. I literally only picked it up because it's got our daughter's name in the title, and it is one of the best games I've played, not just this year, ever. It's so good. It's so people don't talk about it, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
You're basically getting a space station, and you're trying to build it up and add aliens and humans to your space station to score. And there's so many combos and so much to think about. And what the best mechanic out of it is you basically, your ships are your actions, and you start the game with 10 ships. I think you start the game with a certain amount of ships, and each ship does a different action. But the only way to gain metal to build stuff for your space station is to break your ships, which means discarding that action and gaining metal cubes. So you're losing actions to gain metal cubes to try and build your space station, and you're trying to balance the whole time. But you can use your opponent's ships, but you've got to pay a cost. You've got to pay them money, and it usually costs more to
Yeah.
do that. So it's like a huge balancing act, and I played this at the Board Game Cafe and they loved it. Like they were like, "What is this game? Like we've never heard of it.
Yeah.
And it's unreal."
It can be annoying though because like Jason usually likes to get rid of a lot of his ships
All
early
the time
then
and
always
steal
steals
her
mine.
stuff. I do because then
Because if
obviously
he goes on it, I can't
she
go
can't.
on
Yeah,
it.
it blocks the position, so it's really annoying.
Yeah.
In that sense, and there's like a little home base track where you're trying to up track, and they give you rewards every time any player. And the combos are mad. Like I mean, because every time you build a ship, they have little combos on it. You also your special board has a combo on it, and even the other thing. So you're like, oh, if someone lays this, I can do this.
Yeah. I
It's
have
just-
like a board that I've used like every time we've played it, and I don't
Cheating.
I
So
don't
that
want to
board's
branch out
cheating.
because I play well with that game with that board.
Yeah, and
And
every
there's
board,
such a
there's like
variety.
50
There's a
boards, and
variety to
every
choose
single
from,
one's
yeah.
different, and you can sort of just mix it up every single
Yeah.
time, and it's so good. And even visually, the board's ugly, but visually, like making a little space station in
Yeah.
parts is really fun to do
Yeah.
and looks really cool. And the little aliens, and even them, you at the start of the game, you randomly draw a certain amount out. So there might be loads of one type of alien and not of the other. But so when you're building your ships out, blue aliens go in the blue ship, pink in the pink, blue in the... So sometimes they can run out, and then you've got to pay more for like the humans or the special ones.
There's a special
Gold,
alien
and
which
there's
is like can
humans,
be
yeah.
any colour
Any
you
colour.
want. So
But that costs a lot more,
costs
and
more,
so you're just sort of trying to. It's just so good, so
It's
good.
such a really good
yeah,
game,
yeah,
yeah.
really, really good game.
that
Yeah,
was-
that's my number 4.
My number 3 is Space Station 3.
Hey.
Yeah, so there's no point
There's
going
no point going
those
over it
more.
again, but
No.
yeah, just such a really good game. Check it out.
Really good
Just have a look at
game,
it
yeah.
because it's sort of a really under the radar game, and
Yeah.
it should be up there because it's one of the best games I've
Yeah,
played.
the
I knew
box,
our top
don't
would be the
judge it
same.
because it doesn't look great. I remember when you first picked it up and I was like, what is that?
Where
Like,
is it? Oh, it's there next to you.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? That doesn't look
No, you didn't want to
great
play it
at all.
at
And I didn't want
first.
to play it. That is, I sit here and say don't judge a board game by its cover, but I'm very much like that. And I'll sit there looking at it and he's like, alright, do you want to play this tonight? And I'm looking at it like...
Well, so much so we didn't play Castle Burgundy for about a year, and then when she
No,
played it,
it's
it's like
not
it's my
my
favourite game.
Yeah.
Right, that was your number 3.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Planet Unknown. Yeah, there's not much else to say. It's the best polyomino game I've ever played, and we've played a few. Yeah, it is so fun. We haven't even explored. There's like loads of maps with different things and different things to do on them, and there's even asymmetric boards that you can have different powers on. We haven't even explored that yet, and it's just a good game. But
Yeah, really good
there's no
game.
point carrying on with
So
that.
our 3 and 4 were...
Our number 2 and 1 are exactly the same game. I guarantee you,
Same.
our number 2 and 1 are the same. I said this at the start.
My number 2 is Carnegie.
Yep, Carnegie. My number 2 is Carnegie as well.
Yeah.
This game is just so good.
So-
We played this again the other day for the first time in a month or so, and I was just like, I love this game.
Yeah.
This game is so good.
Such a good game.
It's basically an
Really.
action selection game where one person chooses the action for that round. And you've all got to do it. But basically you have like an office, your home office board, and you're playing a Carnegie company. Then you've got a big map of America and you're trying to set up trade routes and bits
Yeah.
and bobs. So you're trying to score victory points on the main board. You're sending workers out to different regions, and you're putting them out there because to score, when you choose an action, you can either, there's a donate action, which you can donate for end game scoring, or there's an income phase. And basically, the only way to gain income is by sending workers to these regions, and you can take back them workers, and each
Yeah.
worker is worth whatever the income chart says.
Because you only gain income for the region that it's on, so it'd be Midwest or like
Or
South.
yeah,
North,
south and
like,
stuff, yeah. And you're just doing that, and then you're trying to build your own office up, and there's different actions in there, but then you're trying to put, you're allowed to move staff into different rooms, but they have adjacency rules to follow, and you're trying to set them up, so then your next turn you can then use that many people to build, or you
Yeah.
can use that many to research, and you're
And
trying to
in the regions, you can use your research like tokens to move
Upgrade
your track. So that means
Yeah.
that on income you'll get that.
More.
That tells you how much you get on your income, and there's like green zones, and if you get all of your tracks up to the green zone and link the 5 main cities, you get like
you get like 46 points at the end of the game.
uh,
So that's
points,
you're
which
trying to do that. Plus, you're trying to score victory points from you on your board. You've got these little slide out bits on the side that you can sort of research and gain by building, and you earn victory points on them. And it's just so good. If you like like economy games like Brass Birmingham and
Yeah.
stuff like that, it's up there for me.
Yeah. And you need the tracks that pull out of the side of the board. You need to do that in order to, because that's how you place your tokens.
Yeah,
on
how
the
you
main
build
track
on the main
to
map.
Build your
So
routes
all
to connect them.
combos,
So,
and
yeah.
like you're really waiting to do something, and then someone picks move, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to do that action, but then really you realise, oh, okay, I actually could have needed to move, and
Yeah.
you've got to pay costs for your employees, and yeah, it's really good. And also it's like, I wouldn't say it's that difficult. I think we learnt this pretty quick, and it's just such a good game. No, it's so good, so good. One of my favourite games.
Like that does annoy you, and it can screw you over when the other person's picking your turn. Because I know you picked some turns last time we played, and I just couldn't go because like you kept picking like the building.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any people in there.
But that's poor play from you though.
That is poor play, but I was going for what I'd picked what I was going to go for my route. And building wasn't really a necessity for me, and it worked. It paid off.
Yeah, but that's all you had. You gain money and blocks that way as well. Remember?
Yeah, but it
But
paid off.
I was going that way because and then one of my end games was to build as many of this type of thing. But it's just a really good economy game. I definitely recommend it. Again, we've got the Kickstarter edition, and it
comes with really nice game trays.
Yeah, really nice game trays. With like literally set up. You just literally open the box, put the board out, and all of your stuff is in a tray. Each person's got their own individual tray with your starting money, cubes, everything.
Yeah.
Brilliant game. Brilliant game. One of my best games. It's one of my top 10 of all time, let alone top 10 of this year. So.
Yeah.
And our number one
is
Ark Nova.
Yeah, it's Ark Nova.
I did think it was. I did think our top two would be the same.
Yeah. This Ark Nova,
so good.
We played it again the other day for the first time in ages.
Good.
And it just shot straight back
So
up there.
good.
I
Yeah, same
remembered
as me.
my love for it.
Yeah, same. I played it and was just like, I could stop this and play again. I could start again as soon as I finished.
Yeah. That's something I could play like every night.
Again, action selection game.
Yeah.
But this one's got a slightly different one. So you get your 5 actions and they're in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the power of your card determines what you can do. And every time you use one, you move it to the back of the queue. So you're sort of always shuffling your sort of actions around.
Yeah.
Trying to get them to more powerful things so you can do better things. And that is just alone. I just love that mechanic. It's so good. So much fun. On top of that, it's got an animal theme.
Yeah.
But it's just...
What is it? Building your own zoo?
Zoo, yeah. And there's a little bit of polyomino as well. Like it's not a huge bit, but it's like a little bit of a polyomino zoo board, and you need to lay down, build buildings, and then you need to put animals in them. And animals are the cards you lay, and a lot of them.
You also get like cards where like you get staff members, and they give
what are they
you
called?
bonus.
They're called something.
Associate
cards.
Yeah,
so you get associate cards to put out, and they're like how you earn bonuses.
They give you end game points.
There's also like little things you can try and work towards, like try and have 5 Africa symbols in your zoo, because each animal will have like loads of different symbols on them. It's got a bit of a Terraforming Mars-y feel in that way, where the symbols mean stuff. So Terraforming Mars has have 5 leaf symbols in your thing.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a Terraforming Mars card laying.
You can
mechanic.
also get like partnership tokens, which then, if you ever buy an animal that's from that same like
you get discount on the money.
You get discounted,
And there's so many tracks. So you've got little tracks on your board you're trying to unlock. You've got little like 3 or 4 tracks to unlock workers. You're also trying to unlock. There's a middle board, and you're trying to up your little influence on that, so you can choose better cards from the middle instead of just randomly blind drawing.
Yeah, it's very much like you're playing your own game. But you're also trying to beat your component. But you're
it's very Euro. It's not there's not loads of player interaction.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you can nick a card now and then that someone wants, but there's not any sort of blocking of stuff.
No.
But,
who plays it better?
So good. And we've played this only at 2 player, and it's a huge game, and it works at 2. I've never felt.
It works really well at 2. I think.
Like even with the cards, there's so many cards, loads, and I never feel like we don't get through them. But I don't feel like I'm losing out on anything.
No. If anything, it makes it better because every time we play, there's new cards that we haven't seen yet, and we're like, oh, I've not seen that one before. So like I wouldn't even say that we've gone through even half the deck yet.
No.
Like we've still got loads more cards that we don't know to come out.
But yeah, we played this 1 or 2 times when we first got it, and I loved it. And then like it's sort of we just played other games, and we never sort of got it to the table. And then we played it again, like I said for the other time the other day, and I literally was like, this game. Yeah. I fell in love with it. So it was Carnegie though. Yeah. We haven't played that or Carnegie. We played them both like last week, and I was like, these games are ridiculous. Jason has
an addiction problem with buying board games. So he buys too many new ones, and then he wants to play all the new ones, and the ones we already own get pushed back, and then we don't get to play them as much.
We played Terraforming Mars, Carnegie.
This is
And
because
Ark
you're on a
Nova in the
buying
last
ban
week.
because it's Christmas.
I'm not a buying.
You're on a buying ban because it's Christmas. So we've been able to get lots of our old games played in the last couple
And
of weeks.
rekindled our love. We should start a campaign. Don't let old games die.
Yeah.
What is with this
Take your
cat
own
today?
advice.
Take my own advice.
Stop buying new ones.
But no, Ark Nova, if you're sitting on the fence of it, play it. It's so good. Just the action mechanic. I'd like to see that in more games. I really love that. I haven't even looked if there is any other games with that sort of mechanic, but I like that.
No, yeah, I like that mechanic. I would like to play one of them.
Yeah.
Similar to
It'd
that
be cool.
again.
Cool. Right. So that was our top 10 of 2022. I was actually shocked how many were similar, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I knew our top 2, to be honest with you. I thought our top 2 would be in that order.
Yeah, I thought the same as well. But we was quite close.
Yeah, we got quite a few in there the same, really.
The cat is
But-
not happy. What's our attention?
No, he wasn't upset. He's not happy. But yeah, that was our top 10 of 2022.
Yeah, if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more from us, please hit the like and subscribe button. And let us know in the comments what your favourite games of 2022 were.
If we've missed any, yeah, if we've missed out on any.
Well, I definitely
We've still
missed
got
out on a lot.
We've still got
because
some few weeks.
there was a long list of games that you sent me, and a lot of them could have fitted in there, but
Yeah, there was.
I was happy with my choices.
There was a lot of games.
There was.
But yeah.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.